How do we navigate between being a critical friend and a dramaturg?
This is something I deal with quite a lot. Partly because sometimes, I guess I also would add to that pedagogue or teacher or mentor, because I sometimes move between all three roles. Sometimes it's very clear. It's
with the same person?
With the same person, yeah. Definitely. I've transitioned from being somebody with whom a student has studied, and then the artist, we develop a friendship also, but then the artist employs me as a dramaturg. And so there's maybe residues of the pedagogical situation, which I very quickly want to get rid of in terms of assessment, because status, yeah, because that's one of the things that is for me is a very clear distinguishing feature between the pedagogical situation and the dramaturgical, which is usually in the pedagogical situation I'm involved in assessment, which means I have a set of criteria by which I apply to judgment, yeah, to the finished product, and that's not what I do dramaturgically. But in terms of the critical friend, it is murky sometimes, because this is also, I guess, why I want to work as a dramaturg, is because I have artists who are friends, and I have friends who are artists, and and I'm interested in that dialogue, and sometimes when it begins and when it ends isn't always clear to me. Yeah, I don't know how you deal with it.
I don't think I have an issue around this. I think that some of the people I work with are my friends. Some were my friends. Mostly they have become my friends. I am in friendly relationships with everybody I work with, but that doesn't mean they are my friends, and I don't see them outside of the working hours, really. I don't... it might be... No, I don't think I have a difficulty differentiating when to do what. When I do think sometimes if I go to a sharing, not something I'm part of, I tend to stay quite quiet, because maybe this is just my own insecurity, but I worry that people think I'm going to give a very astute and considered analysis of something, when actually I'm not, because I'm not working, and I'm invested and I care and everything. But I tend to pull back from giving feedback from sharings or shows, because I won't be giving my professional response, I'll be giving my personal response, but that line might be blurry to people.
That's interesting, that line, professional and personal, because I guess, of course in some ways it's artificial, because you are who you are, and you're bringing in your personal relationships with your friends or artists, you're bringing some of that, but
when I'm working, I bring such a bulk of thinking. A lot,
and you're focused, and you're aware of that thinking, I guess.
And I feel like I can't deliver the same quality of feedback. Actually, perhaps that's what it is. I know I can't deliver the same quality of response because I haven't worked at it. Sorry, go on, you were going to say.
No, I think it's, because I often find myself in a situation where artists that I've taught ask me to come and see the thing that they're doing post-study, then they ask me for their feedback, and I'm caught in between thinking, okay, so who am I now to you?
I understand that,
and often that then results in them then asking me to come on board in a paid position as a dramaturg. So that segue between those different modes is still something that I try and navigate. And yes, I think when I'm on board and I'm contracted and I'm paid to be a dramaturg, then that is a different kind of quality. It's not just a casual discussion over a cup of tea. It's, I'm in the room, I take that as a very specific set of conditions which we're all working on. It's not a kind of, oh yeah, I'll come and see it, then talk to you in the bar afterwards. So yeah, I think it's, maybe you're right, I'm kind of thinking through this conversation, but it's something to do with quality.
Yeah.
The quality of the feedback.
And investment.
An investment, and then thinking about what that conversation is, because obviously in the bar after a show you're not really paying attention to the language you're using, and how many GTs you've had, but it's murky, but there is clarity.
This reminds me of Luke Jennings once wrote a review of a show I worked on. I've quoted it much since, and tried to explain in the review what a dramaturg is. And it's fairly controversial. He said something like, a dramaturg is the management consultant of the arts world, come to toxify performance with their theory, something like that. Ooh. Not that I've taken it wrong. Wow. But he also said why choreographers can't just go to the pub and have a drink with their friends and do it that way. I don't know, something like that. I will be paraphrasing. And of course I've always thought, well, if you have friends that will sit for hours and hours in the pub and never talk about, then we never talk about me.
Yeah.
And that, if you have friends who have dedicated their life to how best to talk to you in a pub and how to think about
what this pub does.
Exactly. Then great, knock yourself out. But it's it's obviously a much more considered, and the experience we bring to it enables hopefully focus and depth and clarity in a way that doesn't compete with hearing what your mates think in the pub, which has its own value, but actually has remarkably little value sometimes, I think.
Yeah, because what you're paying attention to is you're paying attention to their emotional state post-performance.
Yeah.
Like, I generally don't say to people, well, that was terrible. I mean, I generally don't say that anyway, in any role, but certainly you wouldn't start asking fundamental questions at that point.
No, you can't stop working.
No.
So it would be inappropriate.
No.
Yeah. It's interesting how different that is, and I guess it doesn't seem so to people outside.
I think, maybe it's spatial, it's temporal, it's all those things that we pay attention to. Those are one of the ways in which we can clarify that.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.